of us take for granted. We aren't called the natural state without reason, with an abundance of rivers, lakes, and streams loaded with adventure, scenic views that will take your breath away, biking trails and back roads just begging to be discovered. Sit back and relax as Ray Tucker and longtime journalist Brian Hendricks explore our magnificent state with this week's edition of Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Long-time journalist. How many years you been doing this, B?
Oh, gosh, since late 1986. 21 years for the Democrat Gazette.
And all together as a journalist?
Oh, like I say, since 86, so what is that, 40 years?
Okay.
Or is it 50?
I don't do math on Monday.
It's been a while. Been a while.
This is my 53rd year in broadcasting. Just a couple. All right, I had a chance this past week. I went up on Wednesday with my good friend, Dr. Gary Collins, and fished on the Little Red. First time I'd seen it at low water. They had generated one generator the night before. Just absolutely stunned by the low water, and stunned by all the damage that's been done over the years. Across the river from him, this guy lost the whole bank, caved in, and not because of what the Corps has done in releasing water, but from a big flood they had. And the guy spent over $250,000 in rock work to get it all back. I lived on the Little Red for 4.5 years. I can't imagine as a homeowner and having that done and trying to come up with $250,000 to restore your bank. And that's up and down the river too.
Yeah, all up and down. Yeah. And so all that dirt that comes off of those banks, where does it go? It goes in the river. It settles into the river bank and creates these great big, mud flats like you've got down at Mossy Shoal where you and I fished that one time. There are places where we talk about the reds, the trout habitat. There are places in the Little Red where that silt has just settled in and destroyed trout habitat, and unless it ever gets flushed out, that's the way it's going to be. And, I was on the Spring River yesterday with Chris Larson. Same thing, Ray. We've seen it on the Buffalo, where those big high banks that get cleaved off. Well, there's vast stretches of the Spring River where that's happened too. And the thing that amazes me is that people that own land, why would you let your property just go away like that? That's money down the river. It really is. And especially if you're farming like these people were, this is a farm country. I just can't fathom letting your most valuable asset just get washed downstream.
On Saturday, I went to a Trout Unlimited Crawfish Boil Barbecue outside of Pangburn. Well attended. People from all over the state were there.
Yeah. Those you and I years ago went to a crawfish boil. Remember how hot that stuff was, that corn on the cob, and but yeah, crawfish boils are great fundraisers. Trout Unlimited does them. Ducks Unlimited does them. Great way to raise money and get people together to have a good time.
And there are a number of our friends from Arkansas fly fishers were there, and so people came in from all over the place.
Yeah, so that's the thing, we talk about it all the time, that the fishing and hunting communities are very, very communal, very supportive of their passions, very supportive of the environment, of the resources that they love, whether it be for trout. I think that you probably have noticed this too. I think that we're starting to see kind of an evolution in the mentality of the conservationist mindset, where we used to think about doing something for the ducks, doing something for the trout. Now we're all about doing something for the trout habitat, for the duck habitat, for, setting the table for the resources themselves. That's the long-term vision and the long-term strategic planning down the road that makes sure that these resources that we love are self-perpetuating.
Saw one of the weirdest things last Wednesday. A good-sized brown trout eating a rainbow and had the head in his mouth trying to eat him.
You saw this?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. How big was the brown?
You know what? I'll have to get a picture. Dr. Collins took a picture of it, And so I'll get you a picture of it.
That's pretty cool.
It was a nice size brown.
Yeah, they do. Those browns love those stalker size rainbows. That's a nice meal for them. So one time I was fishing on DeGray Lake with Tyrone Phillips, who's a frequent guest on this show, and he actually caught a bass that had another one in its mouth, and this thing was trying to eat this fish, but it still had enough room to eat a lure too. And the fish was halfway down the gullet on this other bass. They were about equally sized, and he caught them both. I've got pictures of it.
I had this one lure from when I lived on the river. It's called a cyclone. It's gold on one side, red on the other. I gave one away earlier in the week to somebody like a knucklehead, and so I decided Sunday morning fish off the dock. Caught one and then got caught on a log that I didn't see, and that was the end of that.
So, the cyclones, they're worth, each one of them, especially if you got the packaging, they're worth about $50,000.
Yeah. This one was not from Russellville. It was not a Russellville cyclone.
Right. So, did you have a good time? Did you catch anything?
I caught 2 on Wednesday, and Doc caught 3.
Yeah.
After I was ahead 2-0. I started smack talking. I didn't catch another one after that.
That surprises me. Doc's a pretty good fisherman. I'm surprised he didn't do better than that, especially owning a place on the river and having all that time and being able to do your thing when you want. And he can only catch 3 fish. Really?
I tell you what, it's the first time I put waders on in a long time, and I like to never. If he hadn't assisted me, I don't think. You can't sit on in front of a boat and try to put on waders. It did not work very well.
Putting them on isn't a problem for me. Getting them off is where I struggle.
Well, I had help doing that, too.
You got to have somebody grab the feet and pull you out of them. I was hunted ducks, down at Bull Sprig last year and fell in, and so I got water down in my waders, which, vapor locked them. And we had 3 big guys, pulling those things off of me. And when it finally gave way, it was like,
boy, I'd like to have a picture of 3 guys pulling your pants off.
Yeah, well, sometimes you do what you got to do. I didn't pull my pants off. It's just the waders.
Well, yeah, sometimes your pants come with the waders.
Yeah,
you do know that.
So, we had our trip. We had our trip on the Spring River. Chris Larson and I, we do a jet boat trip every year, and we decided to mix it up this year. The Ouachita River thing just never happened this year. There was a few days where you could actually get up to where we wanted to go. It's been so dry, Ray, that the rains just haven't come. They're everywhere. The Greer's Ferry Lake is real low. Maumell's real low. Everything's low, and so the water's not coming through there to get the fish upstream to spawn the way it was. So we decided that we would go to Spring River at Imboden, between there and Ravenden, which is Randolph County up in there, and it's not the best known part of the river. Looked great. There was current there, and so we got up and caught I think 4 smallmouth bass, which we weren't expecting that far down. One of them was 16 inches. Caught a Kentucky bass, and we caught a long ear sunfish. But the interesting part of that is about 11 o'clock. About 11 o'clock, my phone rings, and it's a number I don't recognize, but this time I answered. It's Officer so-and-so from the Little Rock Police Department. He asked me if I'm Brian Hendricks, and yeah, he didn't identify himself first. I am. That's when, he says, "Do you know where your white Ford Explorer is?" I said, "Well, I know where it's supposed to be." I parked it over, someplace, and he said, "Well, we got a call about a suspicious vehicle, and we got out there, and it's, it was there with the door wide open, and he was thinking something was wrong." I said, "No, I met a guy there to go fishing." Well, I'll finish this story on the other side of the break, but this is how this trip started, and when it starts this way, it's not going to be very good from there out.
And thank goodness I was not with you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. Back with more in just a minute. Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock.
If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Down south, a handshake means something, and we let our actions do the talking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is rooted in Southern tradition and grit. Southern-born and raised and Arkansas-based, Brad Hendricks is named a Mid-South super lawyer year after year. So for car and big truck wrecks, medical malpractice, wrongful death, bankruptcy, and Social Security claims, his law firm produces results. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Southern roots, serious results.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets, and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and then turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. There is nothing new under the sun. Your friends at Double B's pray God's richest blessings on you and your family. We are here for your service and convenience as you celebrate life's rich pageant. Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
Are you newly engaged or almost there? Well, this is your sign to say yes. Say yes to the Arkansas Democrat Gazette Wedding Show Sunday, April 26th at Hendrix College in Conway. Meet more than 30 exhibitors, see fashion, and win giveaways at the Conway Wedding Show. Sponsored in part by Dillard's and Crown Entertainment. Tickets are just $10 in advance to the April 26th Conway Wedding Show. Visit ArkansasBridalCommunity.com for more information or call 501-378-3807.
Razorback Foundation members, it's time to renew your membership. Annual Fund Pledge renewals are now open and due March 31st. Renew now by visiting RazorbackFoundation.com or text RENEW to 479-349-4313. Be part of the tradition for the new era of Razorback football under Coach Silverfield. Renew your Razorback Foundation membership today. Text RENEW to 479-349-4313. Go Hogs!
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
If you're just tuning in, Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Ray Tucker along with outdoor editor to the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Brian Hendricks. I don't know what happened to this chair that I'm sitting in here, that I've been sitting in for years. I'm under the desk, and I feel like Mickey Rooney sitting over here. And don't you say anything else. You were telling the story about you're up on a river and you got a call from the police wanting to know about your truck.
Yeah, so my vehicle is where it's at, with the driver's side door open. And I'm trying to explain to this officer, yeah, it's mine. Everything's okay. He was very upset. And, so I said, I might have done that. I got
left the door open.
Yeah, I got this button on the dashboard that opens the back hatch, and in the dark I couldn't find it. We Chris and I met at 5 a.m. and it's still dark out, and can't find this button. So I take the fob and go to the back, open the hatch, and I get out my gear, my tackle, and all this, and put it in Chris's boat, and we jump in his truck and go away. And just
forgot to shut the door.
Forgot to shut the door. Now, we talk a lot about crime in the great city of Little Rock. It sat out there, for 5 hours, and nobody bothered it with the door open.
Was there anything valuable in it?
Well, it was all valuable to me, but nobody got in it or disturbed it or took anything. So it's just one of those freak things, you know. You kind of get to an age where you sort of scratch your head and wonder, you know, what is the matter with me to do something like that? Well, I've been doing stuff like that all my life.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Same thing. Everybody wants to blame it on age, and teenagers do the similar things.
Yeah, you're half asleep and you're excited to get fishing and all that. So then we get up there, Ray. We launch the boat. We have to go, you know, find some live minnows. We found them at Ravenden. Mm-hmm. We didn't find them. We bought them. And we get in the water there, and things start going, as they often do with Chris Larson and me. Things started kind of going sideways pretty quick. We were going up a rapid and misjudged the depth of that rapid, and hit a very large rock at a very high rate of speed, and it was full stop, complete stop, and I got thrown to the front of the boat, and it wasn't even any screeching. It was just done. Got thrown to the front of the boat, landed shin first against a bulkhead, so I ripped off, half the flesh on the front of my shins, and then we stopped at a gravel bar to fish and get out, and the current, slips the boat anchor, and it starts going away, so Chris has to chase this down, and don't know how he ends up chasing the boat running backwards, but he did, and it was one of the best most theatrical butt plants that I've ever seen.
I always thought I was the bad luck charm. Now I do know where it goes.
Yeah, you and I kind of play off of each other, though. And so do Chris and me. Either it's going to be epic good, or it's going to be one of those. And, that. But we did catch some fish. It worked out.
I came into Pangburn on Wednesday and Saturday, and big sign there says ban burn. I go down and around the corner, and lo and behold, guy's got a fire going.
Yeah?
Yeah. And the wind's blowing 25 miles an hour. You can't teach stupid.
Well, no. And the thing is, there's certain conditions that have to be present if you're going to do a controlled burn. You got to have high humidity. You can't have wind. Or not. Yeah, you have to have high humidity. You can't have wind. And it's got to be at a time of day when the humidity, the dew point's starting to drop, and, you can back burn, what they call a cold burn, where it burns backwards. Instead of being driven by wind, it burns against the wind. Those are the kinds of fires that the Game and Fish sets. And, people get out there and they, take out the blue diamond and light one off and throw it in the leaves. The next thing you know, you've got the volunteer fire department out there bailing you out.
So what's going on with our fish hatcheries? We had problems, and what's the latest on that?
They've got a fresh batch of trout in there that they're growing out. Problem is that we've got the same problems, same conditions setting up now that we had last year. Low lake levels. There's going to be probably low levels of dissolved oxygen. There's not a whole lot of churn going on through. From the lakes going into the tailwaters, as you saw there when you were on the Little Red, Greer's Ferry is very low, and they're generating very little, at a very reduced schedule. So with that hatchery, up at North Fork, the conditions are present for the same thing to happen again. Low DO, dissolved oxygen going through there along with the other minerals and things that are in that water, and I really, really, really hope that doesn't happen again.
All right, Damon's laid back in there. Damon, get up to your microphone there for a second. All right, so we're in desperate need of rain. I saw something on the internet today where a big portion of Arkansas, northwest Arkansas in particular, maybe some of the central storms coming up this week.
Some thunderstorms coming up this week. A couple of them could be strong to severe at times, probably in the latter half of the week. But until then, more of the exact same of what we've got right now. High, dry, and occasional showers.
All right, we need Tell me a little bit about the drought. How far?
Last estimate I've seen is between probably 18 inches to 2 feet in some spots, with a good 1.5 foot average behind normal rainfall right now for a good chunk of the state.
All right, in the area you live, have you had any rain?
Not.
Were you in the Guy area?
Yeah, we've had maybe a couple of minor showers in the last week or so, but no, despite a lot of clouds, not much rain.
Well, we need rain badly. All right.
Yes.
Appreciate it, Damon.
All right.
We'll take a break. Hopefully our guest will be here in just a moment. Back with more of Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
March Mania is back in play at Gwatney Buick GMC. And the clock is ticking on the best deals of the year. 2026 GMC Canyon's available at just 3.9%. Get power, performance, and savings on 2026 Sierra 1500 Elevation as low as 0%. Call 501-945-4444. Power forward with Buick. 2026 Encore GX at just $199 a month. Or 2026 Invista at just $219 a month. Call 501-945-4444 and envision yourself in a 2026 Envision at an unheard of 0.9. This month, all the deals are a slam dunk because Gwatney Buick GMC will not be beat during the March Mania sale. 501-945-4444. Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Encore and Invista are low mileage 24-month leases.
This is Anthony Lucas, here to tell you about my favorite spot in Little Rock, Corky's. Sure, Corky's may look all ribs and barbecue on the outside, but did you know Corky's was also nominated for Central Arkansas's best catfish? And don't get me started on their chicken, shrimp, and nachos.
Those Big Joe burgers, Anthony.
Big Joe, when did you get here?
You really stealing my thunder, Anthony. Corky's is my place.
No way you love Corky's like me, Joe.
Talk to me when you have your own menu item, Lucas.
Corky's ribs and barbecue.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell, and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Introducing Bluebell Pro, a dessert with up to 12 grams of protein and 110 calories or less per serving. Low fat, no added sugars, and gluten-free. Dig into a pint. It's more than just protein. It's Bluebell Pro. Good for you. Never tasted so good.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at all Mad Butcher grocery stores and all Piggly Wiggly stores.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Time now to talk to Neil Atkinson with Saracen Casino Resort down in Pine Bluff. Neil, always things happening with you.
Well, with all the sports that we have on TV nowadays, there's a lot of content out there, and people like to put a dollar here and there on the games and have a little fun with it, and that's what we've been doing with Bet Saracen, and just getting ready. After a great weekend in Arkansas sports, they swept the Alabama Crimson Tide. That was fantastic. Got out of that slump. I think the ladies won their series 2 out of 3. And we had a repeat, which would only happened 4 times before, in the Masters with Rory McIlroy doing a repeat in the Masters. So, it was a great weekend, and looking forward to the NBA play-in tournament starting tomorrow night.
Did people load up on McIlroy?
Yeah. Oh, well, always they bet him and Schaefer. So yeah. So they loaded up on him, but there was some some drama there towards the end, but it was a great final day at the Masters, and anytime you have it when it's not a runaway and it always goes down to the wire like it did, it's always funner to watch.
All right, midweek game tomorrow. UVA Pine Bluff's in town to take on Arkansas at Dickey-Stevens.
Absolutely. We'll have that line up on the morning, and we'll have the double R props. Quick turnaround for the Hogs, and then they're going to start the series this weekend. Also, I believe, is it with Georgia this weekend? It starts on Thursday this week.
Yep,
so
at Georgia.
So yep, and so that's a quick turnaround for them. So we got that, and of course, Major League Baseball's in full swing, and the boys are summer in play, and with Arkansas sweeping Alabama, that made the playoffs look a lot better for them, and hope they maintain that.
Neil, always a pleasure. You have a wonderful week, okay?
All righty, everybody. Good luck to you. Check out the promo page, and there is a $5,000 NBA bracket. Check that out. You got a week to enter. Good luck, everybody.
All right, download the app, betsaracen.com.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we've got a special guest with us tonight. They're all special, aren't they, Carlton?
Oh, yes.
But we've got Carlton Wing with us. And, Carlton, what's going on with you since the last time we visited?
Oh, man. Well, we've got a few more shows coming out with Arkansas's Great Outdoors. And, in fact, we spent some time down at Lake Catherine State Park. Had a fabulous time down there. We're going to go back and fly fish right below the dam there and go after some trout, maybe get lucky with smallmouth bass or something like that as well, which is always great on a fly rod.
See, below Lake Catherine?
Yeah, we're going to go trout for Lake Catherine part, and then we might get into some tributaries around there and see if we can find some smallmouth as well.
So there you fish up by the dam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
tailwaters.
A little advice there is that if you go downstream a bit, there's some deep holes in those trout that they release in there every year. Some of them make it downstream and over summer in those deep holes. And Rusty Pruitt and I have caught some big rainbows.
Wow.
Down. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was right there below the dam, like right there. I caught at the time was my biggest striper, was 14 pounds on a topwater with 4-pound line and an ultralight rod fishing for walleyes.
Oh.
There's also a lot of jack pike in there, chain pickerel. So from there down to Grigsby Ford, great smallmouth fishing. So you can make a multi-species trip out of that. In fact, you might need a rider to go with you, somebody that knows the lay of the land.
I see what's going on here. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what you call a setup.
There we go. We're in. Yes, yeah. In fact, my wife's listening in, and she's going to be on that trip as well. And so she'll be now she's going to get extra ready for one of those big rainbows.
Yeah, extra ready for one of the big rainbows. The only problem there is that if you don't have a jet, you've got to have water coming through there because it's rocky and it's shallow and it's got all that. pretty rough ride, but it's way cool.
You know, y'all have been lifelong friends, and you got a pen and paper. You might draw him a map while we're here.
There you go. Yeah. Come on, buddy. Help a brother out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all, it's really good. You know, that whole stretch down to Whitewater Park in Malvern is just really unheralded for its fishing, and it's really, really good. And then from there down to Grigsby Ford is not that far, a couple of miles, and there's a lot of good stuff down there too.
Yeah.
And if you want to go below Grigsby, it just gets better.
Yeah.
You know,
all the way.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about your outdoor show.
Yeah.
Where it airs, when, et cetera.
Yeah, so we're all over the state. Here in Central Arkansas, in Little Rock, we're on Channel 11, Sunday mornings at 7:30. Also the same time on Channel 8 in Jonesboro, Sunday mornings at 7:30. We're on Sunday mornings at 5:30 on KFSM in Fayetteville, and that's because they start their local news at 6 a.m. So a lot of folks like to watch it on the DVR up in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, man.
We're also Saturday afternoons up at KYCW in Springfield, Missouri, and then WATN, Memphis's ABC affiliate, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m., as well as nationally on the World Fishing Network 4 times a week as well. So we get a little exposure there. We get to highlight Arkansas for the national audience, and then for everybody that's around here, we get to see kind of some of those places you kind of want to go and check out when you just want to do a fun day trip or find some places to fish or places to camp. We love to highlight our state parks as well.
So where do you get your ideas for your show?
You know, it's funny, just being out and talking to people. While we're shooting one event, we'll be talking to folks, and then they'll say, hey, by the way, have you heard about this and such or whatever? And, you know, next thing you know, you've got 3 or 4 good show ideas. It really is just kind of being up and doing and out and about. People come up and talk to you, and we just get some great ideas.
And you made mention of state parks, and we'll remind everybody, we did a series back several months back in the wintertime talking about our state parks.
Yeah.
Now is the time to get out there. And again, we were talking about burn bans a little earlier, which may cut back what you do camping-wise, but get out and enjoy them.
Yeah. We were, in fact, when we were at Lake Catherine State Park a couple of weekends ago, they had a burn ban, and then we had a huge overnight rain, and so I guess that got rid of the burn ban for a little while at least. But there is so much to see and do, and the state parks are definitely, none of them are cookie cutters. They're all different. They all have a unique story. You know, we've got several that were part of the CCC way back in the 1930s, and so there's some tremendous history there. And then there's others that are more historically based, like museums. So they're all over the state. It really is a treasure. And now for everybody who has already filled out their passport and they've gotten to all 52, a 53rd is coming your way. So now you still have one to go.
You know, there's another one up by Mountainburg, Lake Fort Smith State Park.
Oh, that is unheralded. You want to talk about unheralded?
Yeah.
Yes. That is one of the most beautiful places I have seen, and especially you catch it with the fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is different than Devil's Den up there, right?
Yeah, it's on the other side of I-49, but you can see the dam of the new lake there as you're going up 49. It's a big rock structure there, and it used to be 2 lakes that were separated by another dam. One was Shepherd Springs, the other one was Lake Fort Smith. Nobody was ever out there at either one of them, and one of the great fishing days I've ever had, several of them with the late Mitch Looper from down that way, was on Shepherd Springs, where he had this method of trolling for crappie against the wind along that creek channel that goes through there, and we just loaded up on these great big things. And then we fished a bluff with bandit crankbaits and just caught them all day, and they were decent-sized fish. So now they breached that dam. The lakes are connected. They had to reconfigure the park, I guess, for all of that. It's also where the Ozark Highlands Trail, that's the western terminus of it. And they got cabins there. They got all kinds of stuff. It is a cool place.
Those cabins are very nice. And also, that is one of the few state parks that's owned by the city of Fort Smith. And you think, wait a minute, we're a lot far away from Fort Smith, but they have made that part of the city because that is their water source.
Yep.
And so
kind of like Lake Maumelle.
Yeah.
So y'all are seeing in Northwest Arkansas. Do y'all have a Bella Vista edition of the show where you talk real loud?
No comment on that. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about either, Carlton. There's just,
You'll get all those. You'll get letters from Beltone every day for the next 6 years.
Well, you know what? They can advertise on this show.
My hearing's great.
Yeah, mine's not so great sometimes. Just ask anybody that matters.
No, we have a great time meeting people from all over, and we've done little archery tips up in Northwest Arkansas, since we're going to ride that for a little bit. Hobbs State Park up there as well. Of course, Devil's Den is tremendous for their history as well, and just some scenic overlooks and things like that. But it really does highlight this state as being so much varied landscape. Whether you're down in the Delta, up in the Ozarks, the Ouachitas, northeast Arkansas with Crowley's Ridge, there's always something new to discover that's not like anything else that you've seen before.
You did TV shows and worked with the professional associations and whatever. You got a favorite for the Red Crest coming up?
Favorite, what's that?
For the Red Crest coming up.
Oh, man. I just think about when those events happen. In fact, I was listening as I was driving in, and you guys were telling stories, and it reminded me of Rob Kilby. Remember the Pro Bass Angler at Hot Springs? And he was telling me about a time when he was at the end of a long tournament. Oh, we got to. Is this going to be like a part 1, part 2 now?
I did it.
Okay.
I did it. Not Brian. Ray Tucker did it. But, man, Ray Tucker and Brian Hendricks and Carson Wing. We'll be right back.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets, and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and then turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. There is nothing new under the sun. Your friends at Double B's pray God's richest blessings on you and your family. We are here for your service and convenience as you celebrate life's rich pageant. Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Shipments of spring and summer fashions are arriving at Bell & Sword. That means swimwear from Saks, Peter Noir golf wear and shirts, Johnny O's store within a store. Be sure to check out the Faraday line and Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. So hurry in for a great value on quality men's clothing at Bell & Sword for your spring and summer items, and you'll look fantastic. Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street in downtown Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
All right, very quickly, Carlton Wing, you were telling a story before I screwed up and
no worries.
Pitched it to you before the break.
It just built up the drama is all it did. So now we're ready for this amazing story. So I hope it'll live up to the timing here. So when I think about tournament fishing, one of my favorite all-time tournament stories came from Rob Kilby. End of a long tournament day, he had a live well full of fish, and his co-angler was trying to get some fish. And sure enough, he said, okay, last cast, and then we got to head all the way across the lake. This is Lake Ouachita, all the way across the lake, get back in time for the weigh-in. Anybody that doesn't know, if you're a minute late, you start dropping a pound. Some tournaments, you just disqualified of your entire weight. So he says, last cast, co-angler hooks one. And so he's trying to hurry up, and so he brings the fish, and it's about a 2.5 pounder. It's a good keeper, especially for a co-angler. So he brings it in, and in his hurry, he grabs and lifts the fish, and of course hooks his thumb along with the fish as he pulls it in. And the fish starts flopping around, and so the co-angler's still trying to just speed things along. He grabs it with his other hand to try to get the fish still, hooks his other thumb.
No.
So now we got 2 thumbs and 1 fish on one of the 3 treble hooks that are on this particular stick bait. So what do you do now? The fish is still flopping, both thumbs. You kind of you use your knees to try to get this fish.
Oh, no. Now you're going to get
hooks the inside of both thighs with the other 2 treble hooks. He is now completely hogtied and just looks up at Rob Kilby and just says meekly, "Help." And so at that point, he gets the fish off, he starts working on the thumbs, and then they get pliers and just cut the barbs, or cut them right before the barbs, and then let the doctors at the Garland County Memorial to take care of the rest.
So when he got to the weigh-in area, he gave him thumbs up?
That's right, yes. So
then he got a penalty for a dead fish, probably. He's no winning on that deal.
Yeah, it was sad all the way on. So the moral of the story is, take your time, do it right. It can get worse.
Oh, Brian knows how to get a hook out of your finger.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, we want to take a call real quick from Chris from Clarksdale, Mississippi. Chris, go ahead.
Hey guys, that's pretty funny. I wasn't going to talk about that, but I'm a nurse practitioner, so I've been a lifelong fisherman. I've removed quite a few hooks from feet, head, legs. So that's a good lead in. But anyway, I was just calling we enjoy y'all's show over here. We don't get a lot of sports shows over in Mississippi. Actually grew up fishing bass with my dad up and down the Mississippi River I'm 48, so we tournament fished a long time, all the way from Memphis to south of Greenville, Chico. Enjoyed all that. My son is actually going, him and his friends, he was a freshman at the University of Arkansas 2 years ago, and now he's in the Air Force ROTC through Ole Miss, and him and 2 of his friends are going to fish Chico this weekend to stay there with my Ranger bass boat that actually belonged to Dennis Demo, that was Forrest Wood's second-hand guy.
Hey,
so
good deal.
Yeah, pretty cool. My dad actually fished an FLW tournament out of Memphis, and man, we just enjoy bass fishing anywhere. The Mississippi River has been kind of terrible lately, but being able to go to Chico or any of those places over in Arkansas has been kind of good. So enjoy y'all's show.
Well, that's great. Thank you for calling.
All right, appreciate it, Chris. Well, he's quicker than I was. All right, now I got to reach over here to the phone system and see what I can do here. Bill is on. Where I got him now? All right, Bill Lawrence joins us now. I think
I'm still here.
Hey, and you sound a lot better than you did last time, and we're going to try to treat you with more respect.
Well, I appreciate it.
How you doing, Bill?
Doing good. Doing good.
All right. Any fishing
last
tip?
time I was supposed to be on, we were going to talk about spring fishing, bed fishing.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm not a bed fisherman. Where I grew up, it's virtually impossible to see the fish on the bed. But on these Clearwater lakes, the Gray, Washita, Oak Shoals, North Fork, they're good for spring sight fishing. My favorite colors where I grew up were black and blue. And then on the clear waters, I'd go to green, pumpkin, or white. But the biggest thing I found out, the water temperature, makes a lot of difference in what you're doing. I was at Millwood 3 weeks ago, found a lot of fish up in a little slough. The river came up and went from 67 degrees from one Friday to 57 the next Saturday, and my fish just shut down. I don't think they left, but I think they just shut down. So my problem was, big as that lake is, I should have had more than one spot to depend on and, not let the elements get me. So a tip to you fishermen this time of year is sort of visualize where you are and try to find you something close to that, but maybe away from the river or another part of the lake where you won't get stuck like I did.
Well, Bill, here's a question for you. When you run into that situation and you have a shock factor that comes in like that shuts them down in one area, what can you find that's going to be different? Because it's going to affect the whole lake, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what happened over there, Brian. It covered the whole lake. That's that 5 to 7 inch rain we had that weekend. And so there wasn't anything. I tried changing baits. My water came up about 9 inches, and I was on a weed line where I was catching them. It flooded over the weed line. And so I just couldn't adjust, and that's the reason I'm telling these guys out there, try to have you a backup plan, and I didn't have one. And there was probably a place there that I could have gone somewhere. But, I grew up in Dumas and fishing the coal pile, and my biggest string down there, I caught 5, weighed 37 pounds, but I had a 12-pounder. And I caught them on a Thursday practicing for a tournament, and Sunday they were gone. They were all up on a ridge, and then they left.
Took a vacation.
That's another thing.
Well, here's another question I've got for you, and I ask tournament anglers this all the time. When they talk about in the Red Crest or the Bassmaster Club, whatever it is, I found a thing in practice, and it was doing this and this and this, and then the tournament started, and that was going away. It makes me wonder, number two, because fishermen talk about fishing memories all the time. Well, they're talking about fishing memories that are 2 or 3 years old, but if you're fishing memories that are 2 weeks old, isn't that just as destructive?
Yeah. But a lot of times what these guys do, and I'm capable of doing the same thing, is actually catching our fish instead of building their hook down or let them swim off with it and shake it off. I think we hurt them. I know we do when we catch them sometimes.
Yeah.
And I have forward-facing sonar, but I can't use it. But I know that's a big help now, anywhere from, 5 feet of water on up. And you get that water column like that, you can still see them. But I'm not smart enough to do it.
One of the critical decisions that any tournament angler or somebody who just gets the day to fish, and that's the only day they're going to get all month, and maybe a cold front just blew in and you had a plan, and they always say in the military the first casualty of war is the plan, so you got to have plan B, C, D, and all of that. When do you know, okay, this plan is not working, and how drastic do you make a change? And we're going to go to the commercial break, and we're going to get
Give
that
you plenty
answer.
of time to think that over,
Yes.
Bill.
Oh, yeah.
As Bill puts on his thinking cap, we'll be right back.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Hi, this is Joe Klein, former Razorback and owner of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
And I'm Anthony Lucas, also a proud former Razorback and Corky's Barbecue regular customer.
We may represent different sports in different decades, but all generations of hogs agree.
Corky's is the only place to get the most delicious ribs and barbecue at a winning price.
So stop into Corky's now and every day for never-ending specials.
Corky's,
where the hogs come home, baby.
Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. March Mania is back in play at Gwatney Buick GMC. And the clock is ticking on the best deals of the year. 2026 GMC Canyons available at just 3.9%. Get power, performance, and savings on 2026 Sierra 1500 Elevation as low as 0%. Call 501-945-4444. Power forward with Buick. 2026 Encore GX at just $199 a month. Or 2026 Invista at just $219 a month. Call 501-945-4444 and envision yourself in a 2026 Envision at an unheard of 0.9. This month, all the deals are a slam dunk because Gwatney Buick GMC will not be beat during the March Mania sale. 501-945-4444. Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Encore and Invista are low mileage 24-month leases.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Down south, a handshake means something, and we let our actions do the talking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is rooted in Southern tradition and grit. Southern-born and raised and Arkansas-based, Brad Hendricks is named a Mid-South super lawyer year after year. So for car and big truck wrecks, medical malpractice, wrongful death, bankruptcy, and Social Security claims, his law firm produces results. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Southern roots, serious results.
Arkansas, stop paying full retail prices. Head to Natural State Wholesale, the warehouse, where prices and customer service can't be beat, where inventory is stocked and ready to be loaded. Find us at 2011 North 2nd Street in Cabot. Waterproof vinyl starting at just $129 a square foot. Tile deals all day, every day for under $1 a square foot. Waterproof hardwood around $2 a square foot. Need more? Exterior pavers and stone, butcher block countertops, roofing shingles, faucets, you name it, we've got it. Natural State Wholesale, the warehouse, built to save you money.
Ray Tucker here for Honda of North Little Rock. If you're a fan of the Triumph motorcycles, I have good news for you. Honda of North Little Rock carries the legendary classics to the cutting-edge rides. We carry Daytona 600, the iconic Bonneville Bobber, the TF450X, the stunning Bonneville Elvis Presley Edition, plus the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. We have gear, bikes, and full service for Triumph enthusiasts, and much, much more. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we're just kind of hopelessly lost right now.
Well, I said, Brian, you bring us back.
All right.
What was the question?
All right, we had plan A, B, C, and D when things go by the wayside.
Yeah, so what's how do you know as an angler when it's time to jump to the next plan? Because as an angler, we're always optimistic the next cast is going to change my life, but when do you need to change the approach?
What I would say, like if you're fishing wood or weeds, leave that, go to rocks or bridge pilings. All of our impoundments have got rocks and bridge piling. And another thing, you could go deeper, or you can go shallower, or you can put your boat on a trailer and go to another lake.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to be that drastic with it. But
well, a lot of times, as good as everybody is, there's just not an adjustment because the fish are smarter than we are.
Yeah, and there are going to be high-pressured lakes that are going to have very, very intelligent fish in them. Yes, that's true. And you can get away with a little bit more if the water's stained and muddy. But on those clear lakes, you got to have the right stuff because that's when the visuals will really come into play.
All right. Well, Bill Lawrence, it's been a real pleasure visiting with you tonight. Always a good time talking to you, and we hope to do it again real soon. Thank you.
Good talking to you.
All right.
Brian, so I'll see you in Ray.
Yes,
Thanks for letting me be on.
All right, tell Doris hello. All right, thank you.
So, Carlton Wing, one of the questions I had, is you and I are kind of in the same business, content creation.
Mm-hmm.
And for one of your shows, there is a product that's on the TV that people see. How much production goes into that? How many hours of footage do you video versus how much actually appears in a segment?
It depends on what's on the show. So fishing, if we're featuring a state park, for instance, we can go all over that state park. We can get the highlights, the B-roll, and show that. And then we do some interviews with some park interpreters, the park superintendent. That doesn't take very long. The ratio of footage shot versus footage aired is pretty high. But when we're shooting a fishing segment, and Brian's been on a few of these with us, if the fish don't cooperate, we're out there for hours.
Mm-hmm.
And, in fact, that last one that we did with the topwaters only on the Maumelle River,
right?
I mean, we thought, okay, this is going to be a great segment. We're going to go big or go home. It's going to be topwaters. We're 2 hours in, and we've got one fish.
Right.
You had one fish. I had zero. And I'm starting to think, okay, we're going to switch this over to crankbaits only, or soft plastics Texas rigged only.
Right.
So you start to adjust, but so we'll put hours into some of that, and then you got to scroll through and find the good stuff. When I was doing the FLW Arkansas show, which was only tournament bass fishing in the state, I mean, we're putting hours in all day long, multiple cameras, and then you go through and you find the good stuff and turn it into an interesting 30-minute story. But each tournament has its own unique story, and that's the fun part, is telling it.
So, like when I do a feature story, I may end up a working draft of, say, 1,800 words. I've got to get it down to 1,100. There's a lot of good stuff that goes out the window with that. It's going to be even more so with video. So in the editing process, how long does that take? And do you get to those things of, man, that's really good, but it doesn't fit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
when it's something either it doesn't fit or you've just too much, you just don't have enough. We were doing a fly fishing segment once, and by 10:30, we'd caught so many fish. I had to tell the crew and everybody there, I said, listen, I can't put any more fish into a 30-minute show, so everybody can just go home. And they did. I stayed.
Right.
I stayed for about another 4 hours and caught the daylights out of them. But, yeah, you do hit a point when you've got more than you can use. That's when sometimes you do a part two. Right. And create a whole new show out of it. And then sometimes something is just it's just offbeat from the regular storyline, and you can drop that in as just a little snippet in a future episode.
When we started this show, I reached out to the late Bob Robbins, and Bob had a outdoor show, TV show, and I called him. He said, "Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!" That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah,
because you go shoot video and you come back empty-handed.
Yeah, and it's even worse than hunting.
Yeah, because
with fishing, one of the more interesting shows we ever shot was I had Scott Martin and I believe it was Rob Kilby again out on Lake. No clouds in the sky. It was just one of those bluebird days. The fish were not biting, and I remember thinking, this is going to be the worst show ever. Both of them caught a 12-inch bass. One each caught a 12-inch bass. I'm supposed to make a 30-minute show out of this and make it look interesting, and we aired it. And it had lots of tips and stuff, but I got some of the most unique comments after we aired that show. And people said, hey, you know what? I only get to fish on a day when I get a day off. And sometimes it's exactly that kind of a day. I'm tired of seeing shows when these anglers catch them, just ripping them right and left. It's good to see professional anglers struggle a little bit and to see what kind of adjustments they make just to catch a fish. And in this case, both of them caught a fish. And it was just, how did they downsize? They went to a finesse rig. They started working the docks a little bit more thoroughly. There's little things and tips and tricks that the pros will do, and that's what kind of gives us some courage, because those of us who aren't pros, we got to do the best we can with what we got when we have a chance to do it.
Speaking of pros, it's always good to have you on.
Thank you so much.
That's for darn sure.
And, it's springtime. Get out, do something.
Yeah.
Turkey season started in Zone 2, South Arkansas yesterday. They're out there. The birds are gobbling. It's a great time to fish, great time to hike, great time to camp. Get out and enjoy the natural state.
And when you get out there, be safe, be safe, be safe. Have a great week, folks.